I'm Claire. I'm a senior and I'm on the women's soccer team.
I'm Sophia. I'm a senior as well and also on the women's soccer team. Today we're going to be learning about buoyancy and density.
Buoyancy is the ability for an object to float.
And density is how compact an object is.
Let's see how buoyant each of the different balls in racket sports are.
Claire, this is our soccer ball that we use for practice. Do you think it's going to sink or float?
I think it's gonna float.
I think it's going to float too. You ready to check it out?
Yeah.
It floats!
I knew it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. This means that the soccer balls are less dense than the water.
Next, we're gonna do a baseball. Sophia, do you think it's gonna sink or float?
I think it's going to sink. What about you?
Let's test it out. I think it's gonna sink too.
Okay.
It floated. Wait, floated.
It's kind of under, it's like halfway though.
Yeah. I think that it's obviously not more dense than the water, but it's more dense than the soccer ball.
I agree. All right, Claire, here's the volleyball. What do we think? Sink or float?
I think it's gonna float.
Let's see. I think it's gonna float too.
Yeah,
we were right.
That means the volleyball is less dense than the water as well. Right. Sophia, do you think the basketball is gonna sink or float?
I think the basketball is gonna float.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be in the middle. It's gonna float. Of course it is.
I told you. There it is.
So the basketball is also less dense than the water.
All right. Claire, here we have a Toledo golf ball. What do you think? Sink or float?
Sink.
I'm gonna have to go with sink as well.
And it's sunk.
It's all the way at the bottom.
That's more dense than the water.
There we go.
All right, next we're gonna test out the softball. What do you think? Sink or float?
I think it's gonna be like the baseball and kind of halfway.
I do too. We were right. Well, it's like, I think it's more above the water than the baseball was.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe because it's bigger.
Yeah. I don't know.
Tennis ball, sink or float?
I think it's
Final
gonna
answer.
float.
I think it's gonna float too.
We were right.
It's kind of like the baseball though. It's like halfway.
I feel like if it sat in the water longer, it would absorb the water a little bit more, maybe become more
Sink a little
dense, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just my thought.
I agree.
And the football. What do you think, Soph?
It's floating for sure.
Floating. Ready? Floats. Perfect.
There we go.
We hope you enjoyed learning about how the buoyancy and density of an object affects its ability to float.
Have fun trying this out at home with some of your household objects.
Bye.
Go Rocket!
Woo!